We're going to bring on Jorby and Dazarin to cast this one for us. Next thing you're going to hear will be their voices. Next thing you're going to see will be their lovely frozen faces. Yes, it is pictures for today with the casters. We are aware of that. But yeah, we're gonna get into that in just a second. So let's get into Envy versus Rogue 2v2. Jorby and Dazarin, take it away.
You know, Jorby. Yeah. Sometimes it's like a black profile picture kind of day where you just, you have your sad music on, probably the lo-fi. But regardless, I mean, we have a good matchup right now. Envy versus Rogue is about to start, and this is only the beginning of the 2v2 bracket. The competition is only going to get tougher from here, but we got a banger to kick it off.
I think for a lot of people, based on the reactions I was seeing, Daz Reddles was surprising a lot of people with how he was playing specifically in twos, and then I believe he had a ones performance during the qualifiers for Fusion that surprised a lot of people. So I'm really curious to see how him and Atomic pair up against Turinturo and First Killer, because First Killer and Atomic, they have a lot of history together. Throw Turinturo in there for every now and then, but First Killer and Atomic, they know each other like the backs of their own hands.
Yeah, plus Atomic, though, definitely well known to be good in twos. He's grinded twos a lot. Reddles as well. And like you said, it's going to be interesting to see how the team dynamics do take place. Obviously, Reddles coming into the picture here. But again, Turinturo still getting fit in with the Rogue roster. So a lot of work that could be done. But again, best of 7 between these two teams. So plenty of time as things have already gotten started here.
Already Rogue trying to push towards the box. Shot blocked by Atomic, so flying back to net for the save, yeah.
And you can see just already the type of shots that we're seeing from Rogue. They're coming out with a lot of energy. First Killer's just sending the ball downfield. Turn's playing the more close game, and it's been working out really well.
First Killer, Turinturo, in one of their qualifying matches, they love playing the small ball type of game in twos where, a lot of teams you'll see them kind of play off. It'll just be one player will do ones and then take a turn. Basically just taking turns playing ones, but funnily enough, for First and Turo, both of these guys, they love to play real close to each other, play off of each other's hits, and get those quick goals, beat you on the ground, just like First Killer did there. And a nice little carry downfield for Turinturo. And he spent a lot of time on that corner. He actually beats both defenders himself. Turinturo, great touch into the net.
Look at Turn here. He takes his time, sees that he can beat Reddles with that flick, and playing the 50 from Atomic until he realizes Atomic doesn't have that 50-50 challenge, so then he uses the last of his boost to boost into the ball. Turinturo with the mind games here to give Rogue their first goal.
And they win the kickoff immediately, and they're going to get another goal. And I believe it was Atomic, the man back on this to try to receive, who couldn't find the touch. Oof, too hard.
Yep, kickoff didn't go in their favor. Benefits Rogue heavily, though. And we might end up seeing more kickoff plays. You got to watch out when First Killer's on the kickoff here. Right now you have Turn with the turn touch, but he'll still be able to sauce this up to First Killer, who hits him with the pass.
And a nice catch by Turinturo. He tried another fake. He's been consistently slowing the ball down in the attacking half in the first 2 minutes of this game. This ball will be knocked away by Atomic. And Rogue are having a lot of trouble grabbing the ball. First Killer and Turinturo just flying all around the field, and actually Turinturo will miss the boost there, so he'll be thrown back to his own half. But Rogue doing a fine job right now. Multi-goal lead. You haven't really had anything really threatening from Atomic or Reddles. Only one shot on net, and it's only from Atomic.
Most of the possession's been going on to Rogue, though. They've been able to hold on to this ball and really keep Envy stuck into their own half. We're finally seeing a little offense from Reddles. He gets the bump, but it won't fall as the rotation gets back just in time for First Killer. So we're starting to see signs of life here from offense. Again, still plenty of time, too, with 2 minutes on the clock. But like you said, so far, most of the control of this game has gone to Rogue. But hold on! There's Atomic with a banger. He's going to put Envy on the board.
Perfectly placed from midfield. You got both First Killer and Turinturo too far forward, and it's an easy layup to Atomic from Reddles. I mean, it was just perfect power on it as well. Hit it on the far corner, making sure Turinturo couldn't get to it. Can't ask for much better. Splitting the lead, but right off the kickoff, Turinturo double tap. He gets it. Perfect read off the ceiling. It's just another day at the office.
Another turn touch. He sees Atomic in the air. He had turned ball cam off to read it right past him. Used the last of his boost to get the double touch right in front of the net. So Turn, so far, the solo plays have paid off huge for both him and Rogue as they maintain that 2-goal lead.
Some pretty nice double touches today so far. We saw a nice one from Magic Bear earlier today on stream, and a nice one from Turinturo as well. And Rogue bump into each other on that play, rather. And a nice progression there from Reddles to try to find Atomic. Another hard pass that was cut off. But now, Reddles gonna wait in his own corner, gonna try to possess. And Turinturo gonna wait. He waits too long, and now Reddles, he's by him, but First Killer's got him covered on the backboard. Will easily be able to carry it out, but now you see Team Envy trying to catch and trap Rogue in their own half by pulling off, letting them clear the ball away from them, but Rogue are having trouble grabbing the ball and keeping it in possession. We'll see if Envy can pick up a goal. Here's another one off the ceiling for Reddles, but taken away to the side by Turin.
And what we've seen that worked really well for Rogue is having First Killer be that first man up, right? He's able to he doesn't care what he does with the ball. He'll bang it off to the side. He'll push it downfield. He'll be super aggressive. But that's because he tries to set up Turinturo to do that follow-up. Turin has been playing very patient this game. He's been the last man back multiple times, and he's been making solo plays on his own. There hasn't really been too much team play in between Rogue and how their goals have been scored. Most of it has just been First Killer setting the table so Turin can succeed. And it's worked out really well over the course of this. I mean, they're up by 2, 30 seconds left, and now it's Envy who have to force the issue.
I mean, even one of the goals that Rogue had scored, it was Turinturo who was slowed down the play after First Killer had gotten demoed and made a great play off the ceiling with that double touch. So an excellent first game from Turinturo, but it's a long one, so Envy have plenty of time to find their way in this series, and they don't really look that bad. I think I like the progression that they have. They did pick up a goal here with 6 seconds left, so it's still possible, but you go, Des.
First off, this is a good shot from Reddles, especially off the pass, but it's the fact that Reddles gets the demo there. Now, they could potentially score a kickoff goal here in the final 6 seconds. This goal does kind of bring him into the game. They try to go for the fake here to give Reddles a lot of space. He's going to try to keep it on the hood, but he gets demoed. Atomic won't be able to get to the ball in time. So it will be Rogue taking game number 1. But I do like the life, or the signs of life I saw from Envy in the beginning of, or not really in the beginning, but towards the end of game 1, where it seemed as if, Reddles getting more aggressive, playing that kind of demo game that he when he was up and coming, he definitely did a lot. It did throw off Rogue a bit because, again, you have Turinturo in the backfield. He's usually the one that's, again, being that kind of solo player guy and facilitating the field. Meanwhile, First Killer's disrupting the field. And so if you take Turin out of the play, it really does throw off Rogue, and it set up Reddles and Atomic a lot. Also, the midfield passes worked out really well with Atomic scoring his goal off of a nice pass from Reddles. So if they can just find a little bit of that more, force that offensive pressure like we know they can do, it might lead for a closer game too.
Now, there are certainly a lot of times where Rogue, they're pretty far forward. These are two very aggressive players, and they're always about, that close to each other on offense. So for Envy, it's just about kind of watching how you approach the ball and setting yourself up just to make those challenges in a way where they're away from the defender, or the attacker rather, and you might have more breakaway goals than you were able to find before.
Yeah,
low shot turned away.
Those breakaway goals that you talk about, Jordan, so important because that's usually when the defense is at its weakest, and it's a great way for you to really pick up a goal off of just probably even overcommitting on offense from another team.
Well, so far, just a fight for possession, but Atomic won the first challenge here, and a shot from Reddles comes in. First Killer stuck on the line, couldn't make the save.
And Atomic, again, pressing this one forward, cuts this in midfield. And this is what we talked about earlier, where you get turned out the play. You have First Killer in the middle of the field, no momentum. He can't make a touch on it at all. And Envy just play around him. So again, key to success so far, just been kind of abusing that fact that Turin has really been that facilitator. He sets up first though, the shot, oh my goodness, in the same block. And Turin will get the follow-up. And now Rogue will find a quick equalizer.
Now, not much more to scream about it. Atomic did what he could, but the ball got caught on the front of his hood as he tried to flip it away. Resulted in a poor clear, which First Killer took advantage of. Then came the panic for Envy, and the double commit absolutely would convert into a goal for Envy. Or not Envy, excuse me, for Rogue. Atomic took his time. We'll get a shot on net, but First Killer covered the gap. We'll have the save. We'll turn Turo. First flip. Reddles scoots away from the ball before it turns into a disaster, and now Rogue might be in a disaster as the shot headed towards the net off of a double commit. Ill-advised in midfield, but save comes and they get away. Back to the orange half.
Envy here on the press. Reddles will pop that over First Killer, trying to force a tough clear from First, seeing if something can work there for Atomic, but Atomic will have to cut in on the midfield here. And now that the score is tied up between these two teams, we're back to the drawing board of what's working this game versus what's not. You can see First Killer's definitely getting more involved here, both on the defensive side and in the midfield. Meanwhile, you also see Reddles just being more aggressive as he's going for a bump. He gets a demo too off turn to try to slow the play down. So definitely different play styles coming out, but here's the 1v1 First trying to get it through, but Atomic will get that save.
Man, honestly, earlier, Atomic, as he's jumping behind the ball, acted like he's going to wave dash. It just looked like he was on a pogo stick behind the ball.
Yeah.
Just making funny faces at Turo, but First Killer's making a funny face. I don't know. We're going to drop that, Daz. It's a goal for Rogue, and they're in the lead.
Okay, first off, Turin, right? The flip right here to get that past Reddles. I love that because, again, he's trying to mind getting Reddles there, gets it right past him, and the First Killer's aggressiveness that we know from him, like consistently in the 1v1s, comes out to play too, as he's making for a great follow-up, man, after Turin kind of sets up the play here. It's almost as if they switched roles coming into game two. It's a one-goal game, though, and as Envy are looking to get back into this one, but we are starting to see Rogue come out with a different play style.
Rogue will have first look here in midfield. First Killer, he's over one. Pops it up above Atomic. And Atomic, good quick recovery off the backboard. Did what he could with the boost that he had. And he used all of it to help get this ball back downfield. And a nice flip by Turinturo to win that challenge in his own corner. But First Killer losing the ball to Atomic. Atomic with no boost did what he could off the ceiling. He actually really liked the approach he had to try to get that quick recovery and speed off the ceiling. And immediately challenged First Killer. Both teams playing it real close here in the corner. Going for these aggressive challenges over on the side. First Killer, pot shot from midfield be taken away by Reddles, but Rogue really putting the clamps down on Envy on defense.
Yeah, they're keeping Envy stuck into their own half. I think right now Envy are fine with playing patient there, just to see when's the prime time to really set up and try to go for that aggressive offense. It's been, again, this kind of back and forth game where Rogue are testing things offensively, Envy are responding with, pretty good, solid defense, and then it goes back and forth. This time, Envy's in the house, and Atomic, can he get it? No! Good shot! No. That was a great chance for them to equalize, and unfortunately, they don't get it. Reddles trying to keep the pressure, double tap, but it's off target.
Oh man, and Atomic might have gotten a look at it had Reddles let it bounce, because I'm not sure. I think it was First Killer and Ned who had the read. He was still rotating back, and now First Killer steals the ball away and puts the shot on target, and so the goal just swings back the other way, and Rogue are up by 2.
This is just First Killer. That's the 1v1 game since. Once he sees Reddles on that wall, he's like, I just have to beat Reddles. Booms the ball into open space, and since he picked up that mid boost, he had enough time to follow it up and put it in. And that's one thing you have to be careful of if you're playing against this Rogue squad in 2v2s, is that, First Killer has that 1v1 game sense. He knows when you're the last man back, but hold on. Reddles has something to say about it. A quick response from him off the kickoff.
Little upset about the missed double touch, but he'll pick that one up. And if I'm Atomic, Daz, I'm angry. I'm all fuzzed up, man. All right.
You're all fuzzed up.
You missed a wide open net where it could have been a tie game.
I just don't think I've ever heard anyone say fuzzed up.
I'm trying to keep it PG, Daz. It was the first PG thing that came to my head.
Okay.
That's yeah. That's all. But time running out. Here's Reddles on the point, looking for another goal, and he'll do it! Reddles punches it ticket into a tie game.
Absolutely right. Look at the challenge first. 32 boosts here before he gets into the air, and he's like, I'm placing this right behind you, Turinturo. Top left corner for Reynolds. And 2 back-to-back plays to tie this game 2 up for Team Envy.
Off the kickoff again. Turn will let it drop. And he makes one miss. Maybe a chance for Rogue as time is running out. Atomic, quick turnaround, but First Killer slows it down. Reynolds, quick shot downfield, saved by First Killer. Game 2 presents us with an overtime between Rogue and Envy.
And this is going to be a tight overtime here. Right now, both of these teams have shown a lot of promise here. Reynolds stepping up in game 2. I mean, he's gotten 3 goals with 8 shots. First Killer's been getting on the board as well. So, opportunities on both sides of the field. And we're going to see who's coming down with the clutch play.
It'll be Atomic dunking it right off of Turinturo. Now a high ball in front of the backboard. First Killer quickly there for the save and then the clear. Also steal that midfield boost away from Atomic. But Reynolds will flip it right over again. Reynolds has just been a monster on the dribbles. Look at the pass to Atomic. Reynolds dishing, driving straight to an Envy victory.
I saw it right here with First Killer pass, and I'm looking at Reynolds' screen, and First Killer gives it right to him. He sees Atomic on the side, dishes it out to his teammate, and Atomic, I mean the positioning on that shot. Envy bring it back in game 2 and are able to tie up the series.
Dude, those massive carries from Reynolds, it really put Rogue back a step. They had to start giving him a little bit more respect, and Reynolds, the dude is a monster. Every time I see this guy on the pitch, doesn't matter if it's RLCS, if it's twos, if it's some random tournament that he's playing, and Reynolds, he's flying all over the field, man. He is he looks so annoying to play against. He looked annoying to play against in that game right there. But I'm adding Fuzz to the list.
Bringing the fuzz, yep.
But yeah, bringing the fuzz. Oh no, it's just like that's fuzzed up. That's fuzzed up, man. Yeah.
Fuzz, man. I just think of like a red, fuzzy anger emoji. That's what I think when I hear that.
A fuzzy anger, like a fuzzy hat?
Because
like
you used
pants?
it, the way you used it
was fuzzy angry pants.
We might need to trademark
the way
that
I used
immediately.
But game 3, you gotta get underway. And for Reynolds and Atomic, they've been trying to play close to each other when they can, but because of just the nature of First Killer and Turinturo, they roam around as fast as possible, take as much boost whenever they can. Envy have kind of settled to just kind of sit back beyond midfield and try to force Rogue into these clear games, but poor clear from Atomic. He's out of boost, and that net couldn't have been wider.
And the craziest thing, wait, hold on, Turin, he's gonna get it, they're finally scoring. But after you saw Reynolds and Atomic double commit on offense, you knew it was going to be a counterattack play from Rogue. They kind of struggled with getting the shot on, but Turinturo will finally get that one in. But it's the little things that are going to make a big difference in this play. And it was just that double commit. Like, there was at least 3 chances there for Rogue to put one in. Regardless, they finally will pick up the goal and get on the board.
He picked it up after first fuzzed up the open net.
Okay, guy.
It's officially a thing now, Daz.
It's a thing.
I've made it. Rogue start with possession after their first goal. Their First Killer gets under it for the flip reset. And it will at least force the challenge against Envy's back wall. Ooh, First Killer. Still up aggressive in that attacking third. It just prevents Reynolds from being able to actually move up with Atomic, having to wait for his own boost to spawn. And it's really just kind of managing time, as they're just trying to keep the ball in situations where it's not looking too dangerous, but a miss off the backboard will make things dangerous, and Reynolds able to come back off the backboard to make a save. Rogue still with possession. Reynolds tried to come back on the cut. Atomic next up does a good job of moving the ball to midfield, but again, Atomic, he's out of the play. Next man's Reynolds. He makes another save in front of the net. Another shot in front, just off the backboard and taken away by Reynolds. Reynolds again, the ball somehow falls into his bumper, and he's got little boost to do anything with. And Turinturo will take the pass from First Killer. Oh, he tried to get under him for the flip reset. Now Retals, he's got a break on the ball. He sees First Killer in front, has the shot, and the First Killer makes the save. Tenuous situation, but Rogue get out of it barely.
And like you said, barely. Turinturo was trying to mess up Retals by bumping him as he landed, but it also put force on the ball, which made that save a lot more scarier than it needed to be. What we've seen so far from Rogue is they're testing the defense here of Envy, looking for something. Turinturo's played a slow ball towards Retals. He tries to shoot it under him when Retals is on the back wall. Meanwhile, Retals has been coming up huge here with non-stop saves, but they're lacking on the offensive end. They haven't really been able to get comfortable on offense. Meanwhile, Rogue, I mean, it's the complete opposite. They try different shots here or there, anything to see if they can find some trend or some hole in the defense for them to exploit.
And First Killer's always so far up that you think, oh, okay, I can boom it right over him. But the second he pulls off on that challenge, he just always seems to have a mind for when to do it. You know, that one's mentality. Oh, wow, what a save. But the shot comes and saved again. Reynolds is an acrobatic maniac off the backboard. Turret slows this. Does he have a shot? Atomic barely makes the save, and Reynolds jets in to get the clear off the side. All of the saves are great. It's awesome. But you gotta score goals to win a game. And they have nothing still. Can Envy get anything? Or are they continuing to get scored on as First Killer puts Rogue second on the board?
And Reynolds, I mean, he made some impressive saves there, but finally he's just unable to get to the ball. First Killer plays it past him, and now Rogue, again, Rogue are just controlling the pitch. They're controlling how the offense is being moved downfield. Envy are playing defensively here in this matchup, and it's just something that has not been able to work out for them in Game 3. They have to get on the offense here. They have to get aggressive. You see them starting to do so, but it doesn't work out in their favor. Turinturo plays it all the way downfield. It's another goal.
And Atomic's approach, he got to the far side of that ball. He tried to put his nose on it, but the way the challenge came from First Killer, he was never going to win that. And I feel like Atomic, he's really been struggling. Maybe it's just with how Reynolds has been flying around, but Rogue are doing such a great job of playing the ball away that, watching Atomic a little closer, it's hard to tell if it's just him having an off time positionally or if First Killer and Turinturo are really forcing him to stretch, because every time I switch to him, he's got low to zero boost, and when he does pick up a canister, he's forced to use a lot of it pretty quickly, just because of how fast Rogue have been moving the ball around the pitch, Daz.
They have been, and I mean, that's also a very interesting point to make too, because I'm looking at Reynolds' screen, and he's moving all over the pitch, right? He's getting some solid touches. He's buying Atomic some time to make a play. Atomic's doing vice versa. Reynolds is able to move downfield, and even with low boosts like this one, he has 14 here when he sends the pass to Atomic for him to clear it downfield. So he's able to work with what he has, and the decision-making has been pretty well. Now, it does seem like it's been very rough for them to make offensive plays. We've seen that time and time again. There might be a chance here if Reynolds can get there in time, but First Killer comes up with a huge save. It'll be another pass, and not too much coming from it from Envy, which, is almost a very stark contrast if you look at Game 2, where the offense from them was thriving. And you have to wonder what's the big issue here, or is it if it's just how well Rogue have been able to control this game. I mean, 3-0 is going to be the score line here of Game 3, and most of that possession was from Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Rogue did an excellent job not biting off more than they could chew, where a couple of progressions in Game 2, Envy were able to generate open nets, more open nets than we saw from Rogue at all. I think that there was probably only one time where Rogue seemingly got caught out on the rotation in Game 3, but then either First Killer specifically, who is so good at baiting that he's coming forward and making you think that he's too far forward, and so you try to play it fast over him or around him, and then next thing you know, he's already pulled off, he's already ready for it, and he takes the ball away from you. And because he does it so close, it makes it feel so tight in a 2v2 game. It almost feels like you're locked on your own half in a threes game with how annoying that is, with how often he's able to cut in front and make a challenge.
Mm-hmm. And another thing too from Rogue as well has just been Turo, just the kind of methodical gameplay that's been coming out from him, and the way that First Killer is able to respond to it. First Killer has so much room to just be ball chasey as he wants, but also to react to whatever turn Turo's going to do. And then Turo also has that ability to set up solo plays because he knows first kill is going to be in the backfield waiting for him. These two, as a combo, make it really tough for Envy to come up with a play. But hold on, the solo play from Reynolds, we've been seeing it all series long. It comes out here again. He picks up the boost. He's looking for an air dribble bump when he has first killer last. First killer can't get a touch. It's a little too low.
No, Reynolds chipped him and it sent first killer down. That's Dapper's favorite play right there, Daz. The old air dribble bump. It's been wreaking mayhem in the upper echelons of competitive Rocket League, and quite hard to defend against if you're not ready for it. But
you make a good point. I was talking to some like pro players last night about like high level twos. And one of them was like, oh, yeah, I can tell you about high-level twos. Dribble play, air dribble bump, flip reset, breaks to repeat. I was like,
if it's working.
Okay. All right.
There have been mechanics and types of shots that have dominated before, and then it usually defense is lagging. It takes time for defense to catch up, and whether for air dribble bumping, whether it's just making an earlier challenge or being more mindful of your positioning, not giving too much space when you don't need to. It's hard to defend against when you're in a low boost situation, forced to stay on your line and make a play. But, I think with time, defenses will figure it out. I certainly think it is a really difficult thing to defend right now. And another shot, it will go in this time. Turo will finally pick this up from an interesting angle.
Yeah, he has a lot of room to work with. He can read the defense here as he puts this one on target. And it just stems from the clear and the defense from Envy not being set in place. Atomic and Reynolds were still just trying to slow down Rogue, and Turin found a good place to put that ball.
Carry here by Reynolds. He's been deadly so far on both areas of the pitch. Atomic fighting against First. First gets the bump onto him, giving a little bit of space to Turo, which is immediately closed shut by Reynolds. Turo did everything he could to try to clear that ball out, but Atomic took it away. Atomic, a nice slow touch on the bounce to try to carry it, but First Killer had it red. Envy missing the ball was Atomic, and First Killer will get the goal. Envy were putting on some good pressure, but it all falls apart.
You're right. They did have some good pressure, and that's a big whiff from Atomic. First Killer will just make that an easy open net chance. It's just something that you don't want to do when it comes to playing against this Rogue roster, as we just saw, it's just honestly, whiffing against Rogue, you would say it's not a tiny mistake. You just don't do that.
It's definitely not one that's characteristic, for sure. But it happens to every player at every level. Time to time, sometimes it's just not working out. I feel like Atomic, though, these last two games, the touches just, they haven't been as solid as you're usually used to. That whiff, but besides that whiff, game three's looked a lot better. I mean, even right there, that whole carry plus that shot, that looked pretty decent. It's just not really a lot of holes for Envy to pick right now. Atomic will take another one around the corner. Long pass to Reynolds. Reynolds almost corner pocket slot. And he'll wrap back around, Atomic will, as Turin looks to clear this out. Rogue are feeling the pinch right now.
Yeah, Turo's been sitting at little to no boost, under 20 for the past, I want to say 40 seconds at least. When Reynolds took that shot, he had 14. And then he was still just able to hold on, just kind of being a wall as he maintained ball possession, buying his team some time. Now Rogue full boost in the tank on the attack. First Killer with the flick. Gives Turin some space. He's looking for a bump, but Atomic will be able to clear it out of his box, I should say. And what we're seeing now is just, again, for Rogue with boost versus Rogue without boost. Without boost, they're kind of just playing at their own end, playing really close, buying time for them to move downfield. With boost, it's just completely full of offensive pressure, and they try to starve out Envy and really put him in a tough spot.
And Envy, as they're being pressured now, they were able to find some shooting lanes too. So if they can progress downfield as they do here off of a long clear from Reynolds, Turin's touch will be Atomic's, and Reddles tried to cut it, but First Killer was on top of him. Turinturo takes one player out of the mix. First Killer, it's too light. Atomic will easily handle that ball out, and he'll get the next one over to Reddles. Reddles with the catch down midfield. Pops over one. He wants it. He does not get it. Barely saved off the crossbar. Atomic can't put it in the net, and they're denied again. Envy can't score.
Unbelievable. That was a prime play for Team Envy to come up and at least tie this game up. They might have another one. Reynolds will push it through. The entire Envy team just pushes downfield on that play in order to equalize. It's bump after bump. Shot, chance finally comes through. And although Turin gets a Turin touch, it ain't the one that he wants.
Not at all, and huge props to Atomic going all in on that play, getting the bump on the First Killer to ensure a goal. Envy, can it be the juice that they need? They're powering up, and it's 3-2. Envy lead real quick.
This one is, again, Atomic recognizing the space here. Pressure coming out from Team Envy, starting to overwhelm Rogue. This is something we haven't seen from Rogue all series, where the pressure here from Envy just seems to be something that the rotations aren't necessarily lacking in. Another kickoff. Atomic could have picked up another goal. First Killer has to be careful there. He needs to buy Turinturo a little bit more time to get back, because that's been exploited so far.
The First Killer coming back around. He's got nothing in the tank. And Turinturo will use almost everything he has just to fight for a challenge. Now low on boosts, buying a little bit of time for First Killer. Atomic kept it slow, did not want to force a bad challenge with the lead and time expiring. He squares up again. So despite what I was saying at the beginning of this game, Daz, I feel like it was a great second half by Atomic, and Envy are netted a victory.
You're right. Atomic definitely stepped up towards the end of that game, similar to how Reddles did in game number 2, where he just completely turned things on. The shot placement was very accurate. Reddles was still playing consistently well, but with the follow-up of Atomic and how much he was getting more involved and how his placement was getting better and better, it worked out so well for Envy to the point where they get 2 big goals at a crucial time on the game clock, and then they're able to hold Rogue to that 1-goal lead.
Reddles' speed has been really, really impressive, especially with some of the offensive opportunities that First Killer and Turinturo have had. Reddles' positioning has been wonky. Some of his saves have been insane, and then every time he needs to be there for Atomic's follow-up, he's seemingly always there. Dude's having himself a really solid series and is a big reason why they're tied up in this series right now. But I'm curious now how Rogue respond. How do they adjust? Because you did see them, Daz, you mentioned it near the end of that game when they were starting to lose the boost battle. They had started playing a little bit more conservative. They weren't trying to force as much just by nature of what they can and can't do. First Killer has the old air dribble bump of his own, and Rogue start with a lead.
And this is what we love to see from First Killer, that complete control on the play and then being one step ahead of his opponent. Reddles didn't stand a chance in net. First Killer knew he was going to bump him the moment he went into the air. So, you asked for the Rogue response, and I think you got one to start us off.
With a bounce off the ramp, Atomic bumping Turinturo, but even if he was going to get pressured there, Turinturo easily recovered. And for Envy, how do you just, if you're Atomic, do you just keep feeding the ball to Reddles like this? It's worked so well. He's been carrying the ball really impressively, although Turinturo will play it out on the other side. These two, both him and First Killer, doing a great job just harassing as they progress down the line. There's always someone, even if they're not going out directly for a pass, they like those bumps in demos. They mean so much more in a 2v2. They're also much riskier. But if you get them, it's almost a guaranteed goal for Rogue if they can bump a player just even out of position. You don't even have to demo them. But they're always looking for that.
The same can be said for Envy as well, right? We saw an incredible bump play come out in the last game. And I think that it's something that both teams have learned to exploit it very well. Now, for Atomic, I do think it's just him being more involved on both sides of the field whether it's being more aggressive on offense, anything that he can do to disrupt Rogue helps out well, because we know Retals is playing consistent here. We know that he's, the decision making, everything's on point. So anything Atomic does to kind of throw off Rogue helps out Retals whenever he's moving downfield. He's made solo plays constantly. This is going to be another pass, though. Atomic won't be able to find the shot. But he had a lot of space there. If they connect on that again, could prove dangerous. We've seen him hit bangers from that position.
I'm pretty sure it would have been a goal. I mean, he was in position for it. He just couldn't get his nose on the ball. And now, just a routine touch. Routine touch for Turinturo. No problem. Easy recovery. Was never worried. We'll get the back pass to First Killer. And First Killer, another air dribble. Does he have the bump? Oh, he almost forced it in. He'll give it to Turinturo. And it's a 2-rogue lead.
This is tough here for Retals, mainly because First Killer is the first man, and it's also First Killer at the same time. You can't give him too much room to work with, because then he'll just do the play all by himself. But at the same time, you need a good challenge to stop Turinturo from the follow-up. There's so little that he can do in that situation, because at the end of the day, what he has to do is just get it close to a sidewall or something, but it's just so hard to do, because you got to figure out if First Killer is going for a flip reset. Is he trying to air dribble bump? Is he looking for the double tap? Then he has to play it all while being in the air and making sure Turn can't get a follow-up. There's just only so much you can do there.
I think I'm being pressed a little bit in their own half. Atomic has some space. Turinturo can't get back to this. Atomic off the backboard will be met with a challenge from Retals. Oh, and Retals coming flying out of net just to make that challenge. It was risky in front of the box from Atomic there. Another save from Turinturo. First Killer. He'll get his clear, and he'll have plenty of boost. You see him immediately turn away, knowing that ball was going to be played and challenged out in the corners. Just little movements like that by First Killer that make him so difficult to play against. So tough to read because of how fast he can turn around like that.
Yeah, First Killer just has bursts of speed sometimes. We saw that when he made a nice solo play too. I believe it was game 1. We kind of see it again here too, where he just turns and passes to Turn downfield. Like, Turn goes off a challenge, and the turn on a dime here for First Killer. He puts it on net too. So a great read, but also just great reaction speed. That's what you get when you're playing against First Killer. And it's been something that's really been kind of the name of the game for game 3. It's all been, mainly First Killer. 1 goal, 2 assists here on the game right now. Looking for another one. He'll pick up another assist, and Turinturo will pick up his hat trick.
It is just too much for Envy to handle right now. An easy dump down to Turinturo. And Envy were feeling the pressure earlier just by nature of how they were challenging the ball when the third goal went in. Because you see, it was both Retals and Atomic. They're both trying to play a little small ball, and the second man go for a challenge out past midfield, where the first man has not recovered at all yet. And so they're taking these risks because they just can't do anything on offense. They have 2 shots on net total. And that passes the test for me, because I don't know how many times I've actually seen Envy with the ball in game 4 or in game 5, excuse me.
Yeah, you're right. Like, Envy haven't necessarily had too much control here. They're sitting at 2 shots to Rogue 7 right now. And that's usually, there'll be situations where we say the stats don't tell the game, but the stats are telling the game right now. And it's mainly just been, look at First Killer. Clean challenge beat, recovery. Tap towards the center of the field. And Turinturo just had the easiest net of his life. He scored at least probably 3 back-to-back goals. Like, for Turinturo, 3 back-to-back goals where he just has to hit the ball forward.
Just the stupidest recovery into doink I've ever seen. Like, okay, whatever. The way he landed, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm in the perfect spot to doink this perfectly to Turinturo. It's not like Turn had to dive for it. It was on his nose. 5-0, man. Rogue crushing them. Envy, they got their work cut out for them. They've had some good games in this match, but that one was just the First Killer show, like you said, Des.
I called out 7-2. It was 9-2 at the end of the game. 100% goal participation over the board here for Rogue. But again, mainly they're just the first killer show at that point. Constant offense there from first killer. Towards the end of that one, I saw Atomic getting a little speedier. I don't think he was very happy with how that game went. I know Reynolds isn't either. So they got to come out with a lot of energy here if they want to force this game, like a Game 7 situation. They have to. If Rogues come up with a good start, all it takes for Rogue is a 3-goal lead. They have this series in the bag. I don't see them dropping 3.
No, I think I'm with you, man. I think that this is also kind of showing the potential on Rogue, right? Overall, as a roster, not even just in the context of this tournament, but in the context of just the greater competitive ecosystem. I thought that last game was a great example of both what First Killer and Turinturo can bring to your roster. Turinturo's proving in this 2's matchup that he'll let First Killer do the crazy antics, and he'll be the guy to just put every ball in the back of the net. They both don't have to be popping off doing some crazy mechanical trick all the time. One's willing to let the other succeed if they're having the better day. 2's is obviously going to be a great arena for someone like First Killer to show his skills, and it continues here with their first goal.
Look at First Killer here. Puts this in midfield, sees Reynolds in the backfield. Like, I have this. Like, the confidence coming out here. We talked about it. If it gets to 3, it might just be done with. But I mean, although the shot was simple, it's just the fact that he had Reynolds, even though Reynolds was all the way downfield. Atomic, though, I told you, I felt like he didn't like how that last game went. Comes out aggressive here, puts on a nice shot over First Killer. He can't say that.
Yeah, Atomic's been missing. He's had a couple of those opportunities throughout the series, and we saw him hit one back in game 1. It was like from midfield where he hit it at over 100 kilometers per hour. Since then, he hasn't been able to find any redirect. Now, Envy will take that off the kickoff. Maybe use that to snowball a little bit. See if they can catch Rogue in this corner yet again. The first touch high from Atomic, he won't be able to get back up to it. And now we're headed back to Envy territory. So Reynolds trying to keep that close, but it turns into a shot that Atomic barely saves. Follow up. Oh, it's off the crossbar. No goal for Rogue.
And that should have been a second goal there. Turinturo had the entire net to work with and couldn't necessarily put that one in. Again, like you said, too high. Now we're seeing Envy on offense, and they're keeping up with Rogue on the offensive end. They're actually out shooting them right now. Again, that new life coming in here as we're still tied up in this game
First
6.
Killer. He'll take the back pass from Turinturo to move it downfield. The air dribble won't net him much. Only a turnover. Reynolds making Turinturo miss. Can he get turned back around at least to get a touch? Now Atomic. Reynolds in front. Wants the bump. Does he get him? He does!
Oh my God.
Bulldozes his way to the net, and Atomic picks the goal up.
They do it again. The Envy special coming right up. First Killer doesn't stand a chance. They breeze through him. And the team play here from Envy, able to, as you say, bulldoze their way into the lead.
Beautiful little flick.
Oh,
from,
yeah, that was
from Atomic. You know what we call it, right?
Oh,
That's the old turbo flick.
The turbo.
You love to see it. Shout out to Turbo Pulsa. But here's Envy with a lead and maybe a game 7. But downfield, Rogue progress. Ooh, First Killer. He was jumpy for that ball, and it's going to give Reynolds a chance. He tries to dump Turinturo with no boost. Will easily cut for the save.
Liking what I'm seeing here from Envy. Atomic being aggressive to start it off. Reynolds, having him in the backfield's good because he can play these kind of mind games here with Turinturo with First Killer. The reaction from Reynolds is really good on a dime. And when you have Atomic again on top of this ball, gives him a lot of space to work with. But now we're halfway through this game 6. You see Rogue on the offense, Turin with a shot, but that's easily safe from Envy.
Now trying to lock Envy in the corner. Reynolds not in the best situation as Atomic tries to help him out, but Reynolds has to cut in early for a clear. Reynolds just been trying to live off of boost pads for a little while now, and Atomic It's so hard to tell what First Killer's gonna do. He's in the corner. I don't know if he's actually. Atomic's probably thinking, I don't know if he's gonna challenge me or not. He might just pull off again, and so he's forced to just wait on the back wall. But Envy do get the clear downfield. But it's a one-on-one opportunity the other way. Turin taking the boost, still has the carry. He's got the boost. He's over one, but taken away. A demo on the backside, but an open net for Atomic if he can find a pass over to Reddles. Little too long, he wants it himself. And he at least will take the boost out. Progressing forward is Reddles, First Killer, another clear out to the side. But still, Envy pressing. Here's Atomic up high. Gets under him on the flip reset. Off the backboard, it's got to be Reddles. Another catch. The ball bump. Oh, and First Killer saves the day. Jumps right in front. Now Rogue on the turnaround. Turinturo taken away by Atomic. And back and forth we go, but Envy retained the lead with 1:10 left.
They retained the lead. Close chance there. They were taking their time. Reddles was waiting for Atomic to get the bump on turn, so he had a clear shot. And just like you said, First Killer saves the day. Can he get another? It'll be blocked out from Atomic. But we see, oh, no way. Oh, no way. Look at this. Shot down right into Reddles, who tries to challenge and bounces off of his Octane. And
turns
into the net.
Oh. He turned the ball into like a red shell. It just bounced right off of him onto its next target. Easy goal, easy tie. Does he have another? He tried to wrap around. And now he's pulling Atomic off the ball. But Atomic will win the challenge. Turinturo now in a tight spot, but he wraps the ball away from Atomic. Game 6 overtime looming with 30 seconds left. Here's Reddles in front, slowing it down against First Killer. He doesn't bite and has the save.
Now this is going to be big here because, again, Rogue have equalized the game, and we're in a clutch moment now. 20 seconds left. Reddles using the last of his boost. Reddles and Atomic sitting at a pretty good position here boost-wise as they push downfield. But they got to be careful. That gets over Reddles. He'll end up being able to play this into the side. So no pressure here. He gets it past one. First Killer will keep it into the corner. Turinturo is looking for a demo on Atomic. Atomic will try to play it to the side. Turner wants more, but he'll get bumped out. And we will have an overtime.
They both turned a demo switch on at that point. Both Turinturo and First Killer, like, I'm just going to bump them. But they both just left the ball at one point. Just wanted to get the ball. It's off the crossbar, but no goal comes for Rogue. This is a chance for them to close this out. Reddles and Atomic have been looming. Here's a pop for Reddles. The backboard has been pretty difficult to find for Envy as Turinturo carries it off. Now First Killer will get chipped off the boost by Atomic. It'll give Envy a little bit of space, but Turinturo closes that gap as he wraps in. Rogue looking to control the pitch to find that opening. They know eventually it will come. First Killer will just flex his guns all over the Envy goal line as he celebrates a Rogue victory.
Wave dashes into that after coming off the ceiling, and then the follow-up. You see Atomic challenging high, and First Killer just has to challenge low. It's a big play there, and it's exactly what Rogue needed to close out this series. They take it in 6.
Oh my gosh. That was a way to end that. First Killer again. I mean, the dude he's fuzzed, Daz. First Killer is absolutely fuzzed. Bro, that's all I really have to say about that. Turinturo was just a great compliment the entire time. When First Killer needed time, Turinturo bought it for him. When First Killer needed Turin to be there for a challenge that he was absolutely going to win, he was there. If First Killer needed to make a play happen himself, he was there. I was impressed by Rogue, but impressed by Envy that they were able to hang around for so long, especially considering how some of these games went.
Yeah, Envy definitely put on a really good showing in that matchup. They kept it close. Again, came down to a Game 6 overtime, and just, all it took was one challenge in front of the goal line, and then Rogue were able to come through with it. But Envy definitely had some highlights there that we were able to see. Unfortunately, though, for them in the 2v2 bracket of Fusion, their run ends here, and Rogue will move on. So definitely well played to Rogue. For a first showing of the 2v2 portion, it was exciting, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Johnny said it at the very beginning that this was going to be a great match. It was. Guys, we got plenty. We have one more match up for you. Shogun and Johnny will be on the call for it. The 1v1 portion of Fusion Day 1 will be back after the break.
I called out 7-2. It was 9-2 at the end of the game. 100% goal participation over the board here for Rogue. But again, mainly they're just the First Killer show at that point. Constant offense there from First Killer. Towards the end of that one, I saw Tommy getting a little speedier. I don't think he was very happy with how that game went. I know Reynolds isn't either. So they got to come out with a lot of energy here if they want to force this game, like a Game 7 situation. They have to. If Rogues come up with a good start, all it takes for Rogue is a 3-goal lead. They have this series in the bag. I don't see them dropping 3.
No, I think I'm with you, man. I think that this is also kind of showing the potential on Rogue, right? Overall, as a roster, not even just in the context of this tournament, but in the context of just the greater competitive ecosystem. I thought that last game was a great example of both what First Killer and Turinturo can bring to your roster. Turinturo's proving in this 2's matchup that he'll let First Killer do the crazy antics, and he'll be the guy to just put every ball in the back of the net. They both don't have to be popping off doing some crazy mechanical trick all the time. One's willing to let the other succeed if they're having the better day. 2's is obviously going to be a great arena for someone like First Killer to show his skills, and it continues here with their first goal.
Look at First Killer here. Puts this in midfield, sees Reynolds in the backfield. Like, I have this. Like, the confidence coming out here. We talked about it. If it gets to 3, it might just be done with. But, I mean, although the shot was simple, it's just the fact that he had Reynolds, even though Reynolds was all the way downfield. Atomic, though, I told you I felt like he didn't like how that last game went. Comes out aggressive here. Puts on a nice shot over First Killer. He can't save that.
Yeah, Atomic's been missing. He's had a couple of those opportunities throughout the series, and we saw him hit one back in game 1. It was like from midfield where he hit it at over 100 kilometers per hour. Since then, he hasn't been able to find any redirect. Now, Envy will take that off the kickoff. Maybe use that to snowball a little bit. See if they can catch Rogue in this corner yet again. The first touch high from Atomic, he won't be able to get back up to it. And now we're headed back to Envy territory. Reynolds trying to keep that close, but it turns into a shot that Atomic barely saves. Follow up. Oh, it's off the crossbar. No goal for Rogue.
And that should have been a second goal there. Turnturo had the entire net to work with and couldn't necessarily put that one in. Again, like you said, too high. Now we're seeing Envy on offense, and they're keeping up with Rogue on the offensive end. They're actually out shooting them right now. Again, that new life coming in here as we're still tied up in this game 6.
He'll take the back pass from Turinturo to move it downfield. The air dribble won't net him much. Only a turnover. Reynolds making Turinturo miss. Can he get turned back around at least to get a touch? Now Atomic. Reynolds in front. Wants the bump. Does he get him? He does!
Oh my God.
Bulldozes his way to the net, and Atomic picks the goal up.
They do it again. The Envy special coming right up. First Killer doesn't stand a chance. They breeze through him. And the team play here from Envy, able to, as you say, bulldoze their way into the lead.
Beautiful little flick.
Oh yeah, that was
from Atomic. You know what we call that, right?
Oh
That's the old turbo flick.
The turbo
You love to see it. Shout out to Turbo Pulsa. But here's Envy with a lead and maybe a game 7. But downfield, Rogue progress. Ooh, First Killer. He was jumpy for that ball, and it's going to give Reynolds a chance. He tries to dump Turinturo with no boost. Will easily cut for the save.
Like what I'm seeing here from Envy. Atomic being aggressive to start it off. Reynolds, having him in the backfield's good because he can play these kind of mind games here with Turinturo and First Killer. The reaction from Reynolds is really good on a dime. And when you have Atomic again on top of this ball, gives him a lot of space to work with. But now we're halfway through this game 6. You see Rogue on the offense, Turin with a shot, but that's easily saved from Envy.
Now trying to lock Envy in the corner. Reynolds not in the best situation as Atomic tries to help him out, but Reynolds has to cut in early for a clear. Reynolds just been trying to live off of boost pads for a little while now, and Atomic. It's so hard to tell what First Killer's gonna do. He's in the corner. I don't know if he's actually. Atomic's probably thinking, I don't know if he's gonna challenge me or not. He might just pull off again, and so he's forced to just wait on the back wall. But Rogue Envy do get the clear downfield, but it's a one-on-one opportunity the other way. Turin taking the boost, still has the carry. He's got the boost. He's over one, but taken away. A demo on the backside, but an open net for Atomic if he can find a pass over to Reddles. A little too long, he wants it himself. And he at least will take the boost out. Progressing forward is Reddles, First Killer, another clear out to the side. But still, Envy pressing. Here's Atomic up high. Gets under him on the flip reset. Off the backboard, it's got to be Reddles. Another catch. He's getting bumped. Oh, and First Killer saves the day. Jumps right in front. Now Rogue on the turnaround. Turrituro taken away by Atomic. And back and forth we go, but Envy retained the lead with 1:10 left.
They retained the lead. Close chance there. They were taking their time. Reynolds was waiting for Atomic to get the bump on turn, so he had a clear shot. And just like you said, First Killer saves the day. Can he get another? It'll be blocked out from Atomic. But we see, oh, no way. Oh, no way. Look at this. Shot down right into Reynolds, who tries to challenge and bounces off of his Octane. And
Turns
into the net.
Oh. He turned the ball into like a red shell. It just bounced right off of him onto its next target. Easy goal, easy tie. Does he have another? He tried to wrap around. And now he's pulling Atomic off the ball. But Atomic will win the challenge. Turinturo now in a tight spot, but he wraps the ball away from Atomic. Game 6 overtime looming with 30 seconds left. Here's Reynolds in front, slowing it down against First Killer. He doesn't bite and has the save.
Now this is going to be big here because, again, Rogue have equalized the game, and we're in a clutch moment now. 20 seconds left. Reynolds using the last of his boost. Reynolds and Atomic sitting at a pretty good position here boost-wise as they push downfield, but they got to be careful. That gets over Reynolds. He'll end up being able to play this into the side. So no pressure here. He gets it past one. First Killer will keep it into the corner. Turturo's looking for a demo on Atomic. Atomic will try to play it to the side. Turner wants more, but he'll get bumped out. And we will have an overtime.
They both turned a demo switch on at that point. Both Turrituro and First Killer like, I'm just going to bump him. But they both just left the ball at one point. Just wanted to get the bump. It's off the crossbar, but no goal comes for Rogue. This is a chance for them to close this out. Reynolds and Atomic have been looming. Here's a pop for Reynolds. The backboard has been pretty difficult to find for Envy as Turinturo carries it off. Now First Killer will get chipped off the boost by Atomic. It'll give Envy a little bit of space, but Turinturo closes that gap as he wraps in. Rogue looking to control the pitch to find that opening. They know eventually it will come. First Killer will just flex his guns all over the Envy goal line as he celebrates a Rogue victory.
Wave dashes into that after coming off the ceiling, and then the follow-up. You see Atomic challenging high, and First Killer just has to challenge low. It's a big play there, and it's exactly what Rogue needed to close out this series. They take it in 6.
Oh my gosh. That was a way to end that. First Killer again. I mean, the dude he's fuzzed, Daz. First Killer's absolutely fuzzed, bro.